Good morning, everyone. This is meteorologist Shane Hinton hopping on to our social media platforms in order to give you an updated look at that forecast as that winter storm approaches central Texas. We're going to get started in just a couple of moments, but please let me know if you can't hear my microphone. I am monitoring the comments right now. We're going to get started in just a couple of moments. Time is currently 8:35 on your Wednesday morning, in case you are watching this a little bit later in the day, so you know when this information was kind of fresh. Good morning there, Deborah. Hello, Renee. Okay, great. I am seeing confirmations that you can hear me. Good morning, Stacy, Eddie, Felix from Cedar Park, Anna out in Manor. I'm going to hop on here real quickly. Hi there. Good morning, everybody. I hope your day's off to a great start so far. As you can see, we do have some updated information from the National Weather Service. If you're taking a look at the graphic on your screen, you'll probably notice that we did upgrade from a winter storm watch that was issued yesterday to a winter storm warning today for almost the entire KVUE viewing area. The only exception is out there in Fayette County, where you can see they are under a winter weather advisory. Throughout this stream, I'm going to be continuing to monitor comments specifically on Facebook. I'll try to answer as many questions as I can, but please keep in mind that not everything is ironed out just yet, but we're going to be discussing trends. We're going to take a look at the hourly forecast, when we can expect the cooler weather to arrive, and more importantly, when we can expect the temperatures to warm back up, okay? I hope everyone's doing so well so far. Hello, Bethany. Good morning. Kim, Marcia, Cameron, Kay, Leanne, Jen. Good morning to all of you. Okay, so as you can see, all the areas shaded in pink, that is a winter storm warning. It's in effect starting at 3 o'clock Thursday morning, and it goes until 6 p.m. Thursday evening. What are we going to be talking about here? Well, this is more of an ice event for Central Texas. If you're talking about Winter Storm 2021, that had a little bit of everything. It had freezing rain, it had some sleet, it had snow, of course. This is not that storm. It's a completely different system. It will not be nearly as intense. However, it is going to be cold, so we want to make sure that you are well prepared and that you're taking the system seriously. We're going to start with what we're tracking right now and for today. In fact, these temperatures that you're tracking right now, these are going to be the warmest morning temperatures we have for quite some time. You're scanning the skies and noticing a little bit of moisture out to the northwest. That is actually where that cold front is currently located. Now, even though the cold front is moving through this afternoon, the cold air doesn't really arrive until tonight and the following days. So keep that in mind. We're going to be tracking some scattered to widespread showers throughout the day today. At the moment, we're also currently monitoring some pretty dense fog along and east of I-35. There's a dense fog advisory that should be expiring around 9 o'clock this morning. So make sure to take it easy on the roads and use your low beam headlights if you're heading out east this morning. Your hourly forecast shows that temperatures climb into the upper 50s to lower 60s this afternoon. Notice that our chances for rain start to grow a little bit more scattered to widespread throughout the day. This will be just that, rain, as we go throughout today. That will change as we go overnight into Thursday morning. So notice that our afternoon highs today, these are going to be your warmest high temperatures for the extended forecast. So yes, the next 7 days, these are the warmest ones you will see. We're talking lower to mid 50s for the hill country just because they're closer to the cold front. Elsewhere, we're talking upper 50s to lower 60s. Some lucky few out there in Fayette County could be reaching the mid 60s. As we take a look at your allergy count, cedar and mold in the medium category for today. Traces of other trees were on the high side. I'm sure that a lot of these allergens are going to get wiped out due to the rain and the wintry mix that we're expecting tonight, if that's any kind of benefit that comes from a system like this. You'll notice those winter weather alerts extend outside of the KVUE viewing area all the way up to Dallas, and past Dallas we are tracking that winter storm warning. The areas you see shaded in purple once again are for winter weather advisories. If you recall, during the winter storm of 2021, really the entire state was under warning. In fact, you notice that areas south of us are not under advisory or warning at all, at least not at this point. Let's take a look at where the front is currently located. As I mentioned, it's kind of knocking on the doorsteps of the hill country, but the much cooler air is located well to the north. Notice Denver, it's 11 degrees, -7 degrees in Billings, -1 in Minneapolis. This cold air is going to be making its way towards the south over the next day or two, but the good news is I see a warming trend heading into the weekend. Let's take a closer look at what we're going to be tracking throughout the day today. We could see some isolated showers later this morning into the early afternoon. Notice that this high resolution forecast model wants to put a few isolated moderate to heavier bands of rain. Mostly I'm seeing them to the north, but you can't count them out for the KVUE viewing area. Some could bring a rumble of thunder or two, so don't be caught off guard. We're not tracking a severe weather threat with any of the showers or storms that are populating today. Now keep in mind, this is going to make roadways slick just with rain. They are treating the roads today, but I think it is worth noting that some of that treatment could get washed off the roadways with any rain that we acquire today. That's why we are stressing that you stay off the roads for tomorrow, since we're going to be dealing with that wintry precipitation overnight. Let's talk about when we could start to see a change. We're going to start with the hill country. The freezing line moves in from west to east and north to south. So hill country from midnight to 3 a.m. You're going to notice that rain transitioning into those shades of pink. That's going to be freezing rain and sleet. As we make our way from 5 to 7 a.m., I expect that rain to transition for the I-35 corridor, including the Austin metro area. And notice those temperatures just hovering at or around freezing. As you make your way towards our southeastern counties and closer to the coastal plains, notice at 6 o'clock in the morning, you're still sitting above freezing. As we make our way into the 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. window, that's when I expect that transition from rain into maybe some light ice or sleet for you guys. Notice by 10 to 11 o'clock in the morning, a hard freeze expected for the hill country, below freezing as you make your way to Austin. It's worth noting that tomorrow's highs will most likely be achieved in the morning because that cooler air continues to filter in from the north throughout the duration of the day. As we take a look for the rest of Thursday, notice that moisture continues to push out towards the east, and then we'll see some partial clearing. Clearing in regards to precipitation chances. It's still going to be cold. In fact, the coldest air arrives Thursday night into Friday morning, and that's when I think we'll really need to be keeping an eye out on the roads, because anything accumulated ice-wise will be on the roadways and making for some pretty hazardous travel conditions. So taking a quick look at your winter weather headlines, freezing rain and sleet still expected for tonight. I do think there is the possibility for some snow flurries, but that's going to be mainly north. We're talking northern hill country counties, maybe at best northern I-35 corridor. We're not right now factoring that in for the Austin area or for our coastal plain communities. We will be tracking some icy road conditions. Okay, that will mean some potential for also some scattered power outages if we were to get any ice to accumulate on tree branches or maybe on power lines. I think that might be a slight concern for tomorrow and tonight as well. When we're talking about temperatures, they are dropping down to the teens and 20s across central Texas. The wind chill will be significantly cooler than that. I am talking below zero at some points in the hill country, and in the single digits is what it will feel like as you make your way to Austin. So go ahead and remember your people, your pipes, your plants, and your pets. Make sure they are taken care of not only tonight, but for the next several evenings as well. That winter weather potential from Wednesday night through Thursday, high chance for cold temperatures, high chance for strong wind chills, and high chance for wintry precipitation, mostly freezing rain and sleet. Those travel impacts, I'm putting them in the medium category for now, just due to the fact that it could be a light glazing for our eastern counties. I don't think the travel impacts are going to be as severe area-wide. Taking a look at the system as a whole, that front, as I mentioned, moves through during this afternoon, but the cold air arrives overnight into Thursday. Temperatures today, we're talking lower 60s for your highs, only 30 degrees for your high on Thursday. That's being acquired at the beginning of the day, cooling throughout the rest of the afternoon into early evening. Heading into Friday, I do see it getting above freezing, but only just ever so slightly. Keep in mind this forecast, the numbers that I'm showing you, that high, that is for Austin at Camp Mabry. Areas west of I-35 typically trend cooler, so I would not be surprised if some of our hill country communities are sitting at freezing or below freezing even into Friday. Now, as we go into Saturday, I expect a more significant warming trend. We're talking maybe upper 30s, and then even further as we go into Sunday and Monday. This is one of the stark differences and contrasts between last year's winter storm and this year's winter storms, okay? We are expecting a warming trend. We are not looking at long drawn out days and nights below freezing. The nights, Yes, will be a hard freeze, widespread. That's pretty much expected. But the daytime highs, they are gradually increasing over each following day. Let's talk about ice accumulation forecasts. We're going to start with the European model because it's been pretty consistent. It is now trending towards maybe a light glaze east of I-35, but we're seeing areas of 1/4 of an inch for the hill country. Now, this could have some pretty significant impacts in regards to icing on trees, icing on the roadways. As you make your way toward Austin and the I-35 corridor, the highest ice potential is going to be north of Austin. That doesn't mean that we couldn't accumulate any ice in Austin. It just means the highest chances are to the north. As we take a look at the GFS model, don't be taken off guard by all the colors. I want you to focus kind of on the numbers. The GFS model is a little bit more widespread, but it still gives a glazing of ice as you make your way east of I-35. It does provide an uptick in the ice potential for Austin, still keeping it under 1/4 of an inch, but now it's in that 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch range. There are some isolated areas in the hill country that could see over 1/3 of an inch in this particular scenario, which once again would bring some potentially hazardous travel impacts. Now we're going to take a look at the Namm Forecast model. I haven't been showing this the past couple of mornings, but I do want to start incorporating it now, just to show you it's kind of a little bit more widespread with a lighter icing. This model does particularly well with shallow cold fronts, and the cold front we're tracking doesn't necessarily have the coldest profile from surface all the way to the upper levels of the atmosphere. That's also why we're not talking snow for the area. We're talking more ice, freezing rain, and sleet. Just if you were curious. Notice that this particular model puts it in between 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch for a majority of the KVUE viewing area, with isolated areas north of Austin, specifically in Georgetown, that could see just above 1/4 of an inch of ice. So the models, they don't agree 100%, but trends are certainly there. I-35 and west, that's the highest potential for ice accumulation. That's why we're stressing to not be on the roads starting tonight and going throughout the day tomorrow. I also think we could have some concerns on the roadways Friday morning, depending on how much of that roadway treatment that's applied today gets washed off the roads by any rain today as well. Take a look at those ice accumulation impacts. This is what we typically see based off of measurable ice, anywhere from 1/10 of an inch to 1/4 of an inch, 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 an inch, and then north of 1/2 inch. Okay, so the main concerns for travel impacts are going to be as you make your way 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 inch, although still in that lower threshold, you are going to want to be cautious on any roads. And once again, I know I sound like a broken record here. You only want to be on the roads for absolute emergencies, and if you have to be, and also make sure that you have the appropriate materials in your car, a blanket, a warm change of clothes, food and water, a flashlight, just in case if the worst case scenario happened and you're stranded on the roadways. Notice the next 4 days, we are tracking a warming trend. That was not the case. There was not a large warming trend in last year's storms. Notice on Friday, we could have several hours above freezing out at Camp Mabry. On Saturday, safely above freezing in the upper 30s and even warmer in the upper 40s come Sunday. I do see this warming trend continuing into the next 7-day forecast. Notice on Monday and Tuesday, we're back to the 50s. If you recall, yesterday we were probably talking about an upper level disturbance that had the slightest potential to bring some moisture and maybe some snow flurries on Saturday. Right now, those chances have really tapered off. We're seeing the atmosphere a little bit drier and not really giving us any activity to bring snow flurries to central Texas. So I know that was a lot of talk here. I'm continuing to monitor the comments here to see if I can answer any questions. I'm seeing about pipes and apartments. Okay, great. Let's talk about it. I see people already chiming in and giving some responses, and I love that. Neighbors helping neighbors here. Texans helping Texans. Make sure that you are dripping your pipes. Everyone should be doing this, no matter where you're located. Drip those pipes at a slow, steady drip. Open up your cabinets underneath the sinks and your counter. That allows the heaters in your home to warm the pipes from the inside as well. You're going to want to keep that thermostat at least at 65 degrees, okay? Those are just like a few pointers and tips. Go ahead, bring the pets indoors, bring the plants indoors starting tonight. They need to stay inside throughout the next several days. In fact, I don't see overnight lows above freezing probably until Tuesday morning. So widespread freezes each night, yes, that's a given. But daytime highs are going to be a lot warmer. I see Amy saying it's almost hot cocoa time. There you go. That's the spirit. I'm seeing someone say, I live in an apartment, so I can't do anything about pipes. That's not entirely true. So I live in an apartment complex myself. There are those tips that you can do to make sure that your apartment at least is doing its fair share, okay? Now, what your neighbors are doing, that's up to them, but share this information with them. Let them know to keep that faucet at a steady drip, a light steady drip. Open up those cabinets and make sure that your air conditioning and heater is kept at an appropriate level. Karen, I'm seeing your question about school closings. We are continuing to monitor school closings, and as soon as we get information, we are posting it on KVUE.com, and we are also providing updates during our broadcasts. Our next show is at 11 o'clock for KVUE Midday. During that broadcast, I'm actually going to be comparing the 2021 winter storms a little bit closer to what we have on the way. I'm showing you some of the advisories and the warnings that were issued, what our forecast looked like at that time of the year, just to kind of ease your worries a little bit in regards to anyone having maybe a deja vu moment, because that's not going to be the case with this system. Good morning, Donna. Hi there, Ronald. Okay, let's see. Any more question? Rosalind asking about the Groundhog Day. Yes, today is Groundhog Day. We didn't really get a focus on it. He did predict an extended winter, 6 more weeks of winter. I think with temperatures like this, we can definitely believe it. But that is your update on Puxatawny Phil. Karen, prepared but anxious. There you go. Okay, so this is what I always say. Don't be scared, be prepared. I've been carrying that motto with me ever since I worked out in the Carolinas and we were forecasting hurricanes. Okay, so don't be scared, be prepared. We are going to continue to monitor this forecast very closely. Those future cast graphics that we're showing you with the hour-by-hour breakdown, those are high-resolution forecast models that update very frequently, okay? So that's why we're showing them as much as possible so that you have the most updated information and that you're staying well informed. Feel free to follow my Facebook page, my Instagram account, and my Twitter. It's at Make It Rain Shane on Twitter and Instagram. I'm going to be posting updates there. My Facebook is meteorologist, or just Shane Hinton, but it'll be the meteorologist page that you're able to find. I'll be posting advisories, warnings, updates on the radar, all of that information over the coming days. Until then, I hope you have a fantastic day. Stay safe. Go ahead and get prepared for the next few days. Go ahead and whip out that sweater and those extra blankets because we're certainly going to need them. Stay safe, stay smart. Most importantly, please stay kind, and I'll see you all again very soon.